As a developing country, it is an undeniable fact that Indonesia faces a crisis with growth stunting, an affliction where children under the age of 5 have a height that is lesser than the standard deviation of WHO's child growth standard. Children with growth stunting are not only lacking in height compared to the rest of their peers, but suffer through decreased learning capacity and a weak autoimmune system. A report done by Kementerian Kesehatan in 2022 revealed the percentage and prevalence of stunting in each region of Indonesia. In regions closer to Indonesia's capital, Jakarta, like Java, had 20% of its child population afflicted with stunting. This number is one of the better ones throughout this report, as regions further away have reported higher averages overall. Kalimantan has a 26% average, while Papua reported 32%. The worst offender in all of this is the Nusa Tenggara region, with a 35% average. To put in context how severe this issue is, the average for all of North America in 2022 was, according to WHO, 3.4%. Growth stunting is, in large part, a product of limitations, both within society and within individuals. This is caused by many factors, but the most perceived is malnutrition, or rather chronic malnutrition and disease. The body cannot grow without resources, much like a building cannot be built without construction materials. It requires calories and proteins to grow and gain energy, alongside several amino acids, such as arginine and lysine, to catalyze the process. Malnutrition is no longer a phenomenon set in Africa, but something that affects Indonesians as well. Diseases such as cholera, trachoma, and stichiosomiasis are easily obtained in contaminated and unhygienic areas and serve only to amplify the effects of malnutrition, expending the body's already limited supply of energy. Much of society's general, albeit lacking, knowledge of growth stunting stops at not eating enough and disease. That in itself is already incorrect, failing to take into account the importance of nutrition. Assume that statement was correct, and still a fundamental issue remains. Many assume the issue to be a solely biological phenomenon, not understanding growth is not just a biological system, but a dynamic system built upon several layers of daily life. Using the Bronfenbrenner theory for development and growth, suggesting that growth is not built on solely biological phenomena, but stem from societal conditions and already existing issues. I identified these key issues. These include issues on the individual level, like low socioeconomic status, food insecurity, lack of education on proper nutrition and hygiene practices, and poor maternal prenatal status. Problems derived from society, such as limited access to quality education, lack of infrastructure for school and healthcare, and malicious norms about nutrition on a mass media scale, with news outlets and media often misrepresenting growth stunting or focusing only on cases out of Indonesia, ignoring the fact that it blights us just as well. On a governmental scale, in terms of policy, accessibility, and knowledge for healthier and nutritious foods is much lower than that of their unhealthy counterparts, including canned and dried foods. We need to acknowledge that many problems related to growth stunting start before the child is even born. Lack of malnutrition in pregnant mothers or genetics can cause direct effects on children in the womb. Misinformation causes children to be rejected of the nutrition they require, originating from society's norms on obesity. A lack of preparation from parents giving birth will cause stress not only to parents, but also the children. hindering growth even further. Some of my points. We, as Indonesians, must work together in order to solve this issue known as growth stunting, with actions not only on an individual scale, but on a governmental scale, with more initiatives in relation with proper education, as well as providing resources. At the same time, we, on the individual scale, on the societal scale, must take our own initiatives to learn and carry out the best practices for children. Growth is something we must approach not just from a biological perspective, but also in the lens of both mental health and our societal condition. Thank you.